My friends, I need you to stop what you're doing right now because what I'm about to share could put hundreds, maybe even thousands of extra dollars in your bank account this month. And you need to know if you're one of the people who qualifies. Now, I know that sounds too good to be true, and believe me, I understand if you're skeptical because we've all heard promises before that didn't pan out. But this isn't a scam, this isn't clickbait, and this isn't some pie-in-the-sky dream. This is real money from the Social Security Administration, and it's landing in certain bank accounts right now as we speak. You see, there are millions of Americans on Social Security, SSI, and SSDI who are going to receive not one, but two separate deposits this February. And if you don't know whether you qualify, you could miss out on money that's rightfully yours. I've been helping seniors navigate the Social Security system for years, and I can tell you that the government doesn't always make it easy to understand when you're entitled to extra payments. They don't send you a personal letter explaining everything in plain English. They don't call you up to congratulate you. No, they just deposit the money and assume you'll figure it out. And that's exactly why I'm here today, sitting down with you like we're at your kitchen table with a cup of coffee, going through this step by step so you know exactly what's happening with your money, why it's happening, and most importantly, whether you're one of the lucky folks getting that second check this month. Now, before we dive into who's getting these double payments, let me explain what's actually going on, because understanding the why behind these payments is just as important as knowing the who. The Social Security Administration operates on a very specific payment schedule, and this schedule has been in place for decades. Your regular Social Security retirement, disability, or survivor benefits are typically paid out once a month based on your birth date. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your payment comes on the second Wednesday. If you were born between the 11th and the 20th, you get paid on the third Wednesday. And if you were born between the 21st and the end of the month, your payment arrives on the fourth Wednesday. But here's where it gets interesting, and here's where some of you are going to see that beautiful second deposit. Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, operates on a completely different schedule. SSI payments are always made on the first day of the month, but when that first day falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, the Social Security Administration sends out the payment early, on the last business day of the previous month. And that, my friends, is exactly what's creating this double payment situation in February. Let me break this down for you with real numbers and real dates so you can check your own bank account and know what to expect. February 1st this year falls on a Saturday, which means SSI recipients won't receive their payment on Saturday because the government doesn't process payments on weekends. Instead, the SSA sent out the February SSI payment on Friday, January 31st. Now, if you're receiving SSI and you already got your regular January payment on January 1st, that means you just received your February payment at the end of January. But wait, there's more. Because February is a short month with only 28 days, and because March 1st falls on a Saturday, the SSA is also going to send out the March SSI payment early on Friday, February 28th. Are you following me here? This means that SSI recipients are getting their February payment in January and their March payment in February, which creates the appearance of two payments in 1 month. Now, I want to be crystal clear about something, because I don't want anyone getting confused or disappointed. This isn't extra money on top of your regular benefit. You're not getting a bonus or a special stimulus check. What's happening is that you're receiving your regular monthly SSI payment, but the timing of when it hits your bank account makes it look like you're getting two checks in February when you're actually getting February's check early and March's check early. So who exactly qualifies for these double payments? This is where you need to pay very close attention, because not everyone on Social Security is going to see this happen. If you're receiving regular Social Security retirement benefits, Social Security disability insurance, or survivor benefits, but you're not receiving SSI, then you're only going to get one payment in February based on your normal payment schedule. Your payment will come on the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of the month, depending on your birth date, just like it does every single month. But if you're receiving supplemental security income, whether that's SSI alone or SSI in combination with Social Security benefits, then yes, you are going to see two deposits land in February. Let me give you some real-life examples so you can see exactly how this plays out. Meet Dorothy. She's 73 years old and she receives $1,200 a month in Social Security retirement benefits. Her birthday is on the 15th, so her payment comes on the third Wednesday of every month. Dorothy will receive one payment in February on Wednesday the 19th for $1,200. That's it. Now meet Robert. He's 68 and he receives both Social Security retirement and SSI because his work history didn't earn him enough credits for a full retirement benefit. Robert gets about $900 from Social Security and $300 from SSI each month. Robert already received his March SSI payment of $300 on February 28th. And he also received his February SSI payment on January 31st. Plus, he'll get his regular Social Security payment on his scheduled Wednesday in February. So Robert is definitely seeing multiple deposits, and that extra SSI payment hitting in February feels like found money. Now, let's talk about the actual dollar amounts you can expect, because I know that's what really matters to you. For 2025, the maximum federal SSI payment for an individual is $943 per month. For a couple, it's $1,414. But here's something really important that a lot of people don't realize. Many states add a supplemental payment on top of that federal amount. If you live in California, for example, the state adds additional money to your SSI check. Same thing in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and several other states. So depending on where you live, your SSI payment could be significantly higher than that federal maximum. Let me give you an example. If you're a single person living in California receiving the maximum SSI benefit, you could be getting around $133 per month when you combine the federal and state portions. That means when you see that second payment hit your account in February, you're looking at over $1,000 and then another $1,000 plus at the end of February for March's early payment. For someone living on a fixed income, having that money arrive early can be an absolute lifesaver, especially if you've got bills piling up or an unexpected expense that just came out of nowhere. But I need to warn you about something, and this is critical. Just because you're seeing two payments in February doesn't mean you should go out and spend like you've won the lottery. Remember, you're getting March's payment early, which means when March rolls around, you're not going to get an SSI payment on March 1st because you already received it on February 28th. This is where some people get into trouble. They see that extra money in February, they spend it all, and then they're scratching their heads in March wondering where their check went. It went into your bank account in February. That's where it went. So my advice to you is this. When you see that second deposit, treat it like it's March's money, because that's exactly what it is. If you can, set it aside. Put it in a separate account if you have one. Only spend it on March expenses. I know that's easier said than done, especially if you're already struggling to make ends meet, but I've seen too many people get caught in a cycle where they overspend in the double payment month and then can't pay their rent or utilities the following month. Don't let that be you. Let me also talk about something that affects a lot of folks receiving both Social Security and SSI, and that's the offset rule. If you're getting both types of benefits, you need to understand that SSI is what's called a needs-based program. It's designed to bring your total income up to a certain level. So if your Social Security benefit increases, your SSI payment might decrease to compensate. This happened to a lot of people in January when the cost of living adjustment kicked in. The Social Security COLA for 2025 is 2.5%, which means your retirement or disability benefit went up by that amount. But if you're also receiving SSI, the Social Security Administration reduced your SSI payment by that same increase, or close to it, because now your countable income is higher. I know, it doesn't seem fair. You finally get a cost of living raise and then they take it away from you on the other side. But that's how the system works, and you need to be aware of it so you're not surprised when you see your SSI amount is lower than it was last year, even though Social Security itself went up. Now, let's talk about taxes for a minute, because this is another area where people get confused and sometimes end up in hot water. Your Social Security benefits might be taxable depending on your total income. If you're single and your combined income is more than $25,000 a year, or if you're married filing jointly and your combined income exceeds $32,000, then up to 85% of your Social Security benefits could be subject to federal income tax. But here's the good news. SSI payments are never taxable. That's right. The IRS does not count SSI as taxable income. So if you're receiving both Social Security and SSI, only the Social Security portion is potentially taxable. You don't have to worry about paying taxes on your SSI. Now, I'm not a tax professional, and I always recommend that you talk to a qualified accountant or use a reputable tax preparation service, but I want you to at least know the basics so you're not caught off guard come tax time. If you had taxes withheld from your Social Security benefit last year, make sure you receive your SSA 1099 form in the mail by early February. That form shows exactly how much you received in benefits, and you'll need it to file your tax return. Let me also touch on something that's really important for our veterans out there. If you're receiving VA benefits in addition to Social Security or SSI, you might be wondering how those payments interact with these February deposits. The good news is that VA compensation and pension payments are on a completely separate schedule from Social Security. The VA typically pays benefits on the first business day of the month for that month's entitlement. So if you're getting VA disability compensation or a VA pension, you should have received your February payment on February 3rd, which was the first business day of the month. These VA payments don't affect your Social Security or SSI amounts in most cases, though there are some complex situations involving aid and attendance or housebound benefits where things can get tricky. If you're receiving multiple types of benefits, I strongly encourage you to keep detailed records of every deposit you receive, including the date, the amount, and which benefit it's from. This will help you track everything and make sure you're getting what you're entitled to. Here's a strategy that I've shared with thousands of seniors over the years, and it's helped so many people maximize their benefits and avoid common pitfalls. First, know your payment schedule like the back of your hand. Write it down on a calendar. Set reminders on your phone if you have one. Mark down when each type of benefit should arrive. Second, reconcile your bank account every single time a deposit hits. Make sure the amount matches what you're expecting. If it doesn't, don't wait to call the Social Security Administration. Their number is 1-800-772-1213. And yes, you're probably going to be on hold for a while, but it's worth it to make sure your benefits are correct. Third, report any changes in your situation immediately. If your income changes, if your living situation changes, if you get married or divorced, if someone in your household moves out or passes away, you need to report it. Failure to report changes can result in overpayments. And trust me, you do not want to deal with Social Security trying to claw back money they say they overpaid you. I've seen people get hit with overpayment notices for thousands of dollars, and it's devastating. Let me tell you about Margaret, a woman I helped last year. She's 71, and she'd been receiving SSI for about 5 years. She got a small inheritance from her sister, about $8,000. She didn't think she needed to report it because it wasn't income from a job. Well, the Social Security Administration found out about it through their data matching systems, and they determined that Margaret had been ineligible for SSI for several months because that inheritance put her over the resource limit. They sent her a notice saying she owed back over $4,000 in overpayments. Margaret was beside herself. She hadn't spent the inheritance frivolously, she'd used it to fix her roof and pay off some medical bills, but now she had to figure out how to repay SSA. We were able to work out a repayment plan and eventually got a partial waiver, but it was months of stress that could have been avoided if she just called and reported the inheritance right away. As we wrap up here, I want to make sure you understand the big picture. Yes, some of you are going to see 2 SSI payments hit your account in February. That's real, that's legitimate, and it's happening because of how the calendar falls this year. But it's not free money, it's not a bonus, and it's not a mistake. It's simply your February and March SSI payments arriving early because the first of those months falls on a weekend. If you're only receiving regular Social Security benefits without SSI, you'll continue to get your 1 monthly payment on your regular Wednesday schedule. There's nothing wrong, nothing's changed, you're just not part of the group that gets the double deposit this particular month. And that's okay. What matters most is that you understand your own situation, you know what benefits you're entitled to, and you're managing your money wisely so that every dollar goes as far as it possibly can. I hope this has cleared up any confusion and helped you understand exactly what's happening with your Social Security and SSI payments this February. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your benefits. The more you understand about how the system works, the better equipped you are to make smart decisions and catch any errors before they become big problems. If you found this helpful, I'd love to hear from you. And if you know other seniors who might be confused about these double payments, please share this information with them. We're all in this together, and the more we can help each other navigate these complicated systems, the better off we'll all be. Take care of yourselves. Keep an eye on those bank accounts, and I'll see you next time with more updates that affect your benefits and your bottom line.